They cannot hold the deposit and apply it towards last month's rent unless Hey everyone, I get this question all the time from landlords. Can I show up to the property unannounced just to check on my rental unit? Well, today I'm gonna answer that question because today in this video, we're gonna go over a few things tenants can do and what they cannot do. I'm Juliana with WeLease Property Management, and today we're gonna talk about what tenants can and cannot do. So let's start with what tenants cannot do. One, they cannot move out without proper notice. This usually means they have to give a 30-day notice to move out, preferably written. Now, if the tenant skips this step, the landlord has the right to charge a full month's rent, even after the tenant has moved out. Next one, what tenants cannot do. They cannot hold the deposit and apply it towards last month's rent, unless specifically listed or agreed to in the lease agreement. If that is not agreed to in the lease agreement, the landlord then has the right to charge a full month's rent even after the tenant has moved out. Number 3, what tenants cannot do. They cannot add and remove tenants just because they want to. So they can't sublease. Unless it is specifically agreed in the agreement that they are allowed to sublease, it's fine. But that's very rare and not recommended. Landlords should always retain their right to screen every person that's gonna live in their unit. That means they can do a background check and a credit check prior to approving them to live in that property. Number 4, what tenants cannot do. They cannot withhold rent without proper notice when something breaks down. So they can't just stop paying rent because something breaks down. The tenant has to give the landlord reasonable opportunity to fix the issue. Preferably, the tenant has notified the landlord in writing about the needed maintenance requirement, and then the tenant gives the landlord reasonable time to fix it. So those are a few things that tenants cannot do when they are renting a property. Important stuff for you as a landlord to know. All right, now let's switch over to what tenants can legally do while they are leasing your property. Number 1, they can repair and deduct in certain cases. Let's say, for example, an essential item in the property breaks down. A heater in the middle of winter, the tenant notifies the landlord and the landlord does not respond. Well, the tenant then has the option to make the repair, obtain receipts, and then deduct that cost for that repair from the following month's rent. As a landlord, if this happens, my best advice is ask the tenant for all the documentation. Very important information there. Number 2, what tenants can legally do. They can refuse entry to the property if you landlord did not provide proper notice. This usually means providing the tenant with 24-hour notice to go into the property for a just reason. Usually that is for repairs, inspections, or showings. You can't just show up to a property unannounced to check on the unit. So if you need to enter the property, give a 24-hour notice and specify the reason that you need entry to the property. Now, there are exceptions to this 24-hour rule. There are emergencies. If there's an active leak or a broken pipe that's burst and you not entering to the property immediately will cause significant damage to the home, then that's a valid reason for you to enter the property, make that repair so that your home doesn't get further damaged. And number 3, what tenants can legally do. They can take the landlord to small claims court to pursue a full refund of their security deposit. That's if the landlord broke the rules in how they refunded the security deposit. A few things to keep in mind when handling the deposit. You have a hard 21-day deadline. You have to itemize any deductions from the security deposit. You cannot charge unlawful fees, and you have to have proof of photos for the repairs and cleaning that you conducted. Now, this proof of photos is fairly new. Now in California, you have to have about 3 sets of photos and inspection. 1, the move-in inspection with photos. 2, the pre-move out inspection with photos. And 3, the final move-out inspection with photos. You will use these inspections and these photos to help you in handling your security deposit refund. Well, that's all I have for you today in regards to what tenants can and cannot do. So stay tuned with us for more educational tips for you, our valued landlords and investors. Thank you.